Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ET Auto. We have seen the last quarter register some record numbers for the passenger vehicles, but how is the demand for the hatchbacks and the sedans compared to the SUVs? For two-wheelers, we have seen the momentum improving compared to the last year, but how is the demand in the entry-level segment? To answer all these questions, we have with us Mr. Vinod Aggarwal, who is the president of the industry body SIAM, that's the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, we have seen good numbers for the quarter three for this financial year, but could you talk about the momentum for the hatchback, the entry-level vehicles and the sedans? Because SUVs now contribute to almost 50% of the industry. So how can we expect this segment growing, going forward?
If you look at the overall numbers, quarter three has been very good, and we are quite satisfied with the performance of the industry. If you look at two-wheelers, we have seen a growth of 23% in quarter three. If you look at passenger cars, we have seen a growth of 8% in quarter three. If you look at three-wheelers, we have seen a growth of 35%. And if you look at commercial vehicles, we have seen a growth of 2%. So overall, quarter three has been very good. Now within that, your question is that how the entry levels are doing. Entry levels, like if you look at passenger cars, I think more and more passenger cars have moved towards the utility vehicles and the SUVs. Now 65% of the total industry is utility vehicles or SUVs. Uh, there are basically two reasons why the entry levels are slightly lower. One reason is that affordability also is a concern because a lot of costs have gone up because of various changes. Therefore, the entry-level customers, it becomes slightly difficult for them. The second reason is also that more and more entry-level customers, they have migrated towards the utility vehicles because they have also become very affordable. So therefore, if someone has to buy a car, he says, "Why not utility vehicle?" So that also is available at a good price.
Yes, certainly there are
So that's both the reasons are there.
the sub-segments emerging in the SUV segment as well, so that's probably bringing the demand there. But do you see this momentum continuing forward, the demand going forward for the SUVs and, not so much for the sedans and the entry-level car category? What is your take on that?
I think let's see, because the overall economy is improving, income levels are improving, rural economy is improving. Therefore, I think overall affordability of people will be better and better only. So therefore, I think I would not like to give you specific individual segment-wise comment. But overall, we are very positive about the entire passenger vehicle industry.
Also, during the last month and the last quarter, as it is for December every year, we saw, the inventory levels going very high. I mean, they have improved since December, but how is it right now? Like, how does the inventory stand right now in the dealerships?
There is no, you can say, the official data available. You get some data through Federation of Auto Dealers Association. As far as the OEMs are concerned, I think everyone is much more focused now that the channel inventory should not go beyond a point. So therefore, I don't have any specific concern from the OEMs that their inventory levels are high. So I expect them to be reasonable and as per requirement.
Right. Also, about the two-wheeler segment, like it has not really, recovered as it was in FY19. It's still below the peak, But we have seen some improvement happening last year, specifically during the last quarter. So, what is your take there? Because we have seen a similar kind of situation as passenger vehicles and two-wheelers. The premium doing better and the entry level still struggling. So, what can we expect for the months to come?
In two-wheelers, if you look at last year figures were still lower than the earlier peak by around 25%. This year, first 9 months, we have seen a growth of 10%. Last quarter, we have seen a growth of 23%. So therefore, quarter three was better than full year. Full year growth is better than last year. So therefore, we are expecting that two-wheelers is going through a good recovery path.
Okay, that is the overall, but category-wise, the commuter segment, the
Category-wise,
entry
also
level.
the scooters have grown better this quarter.
Yes, but what kind of challenges are we seeing in the commuter motorcycle? One is the pricing. Is there any other concern that the commuter motorcycle
I
segment is
think
not
largely
able to
the
recover?
affordability related only, because the costs went up significantly because of various reasons. It can be regulatory, it can be inflation, or it can be the insurance, where now you have to take, I think, insurance for 3 years. So therefore, the costs have gone up. Initial, acquisition price. So that has depressed the sentiment to some extent,
Right.
and then there is slow recovery which is happening.
Okay. So on behalf of SIAM, do you have any, approach or, have you approached the government for some kind of initiatives or doing something for the entry level segment?
We had been consistently requesting government that the two-wheelers specifically for entry level, uh, it will be good if the GST rates could be rationalized.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, and for the commercial vehicle segment, sir, it is in green, but we have seen the LCV struggle specifically. So, like, what are the reasons there, and like, can we see an improvement this year?
LCB, I won't say it is struggle, uh, because LCB last year itself, it was almost equal to the earlier peak, whereas medium and heavy duty trucks were still, you can say, lower than the earlier peak, but the light and medium duty or the small commercial vehicle, they were very near to the earlier peak. So therefore, the base was high. Therefore, you see slightly depressed growth there. The other reason of lower growth in LCV is also uh, the drop in the CNG vehicle sales, because the CNG fuel prices had gone up around a year ago, and as a result of that, the arbitrage advantage which was there between CNG fuel and the
Yeah.
normal diesel or petrol, that had come down. So due to which the CNG vehicles became slightly less attractive.
Okay.
So that is another reason of lower growth in the light vehicles.
Right. So now about the exports momentum, we have seen a bit of a decline here in exports. So lots of geopolitical issues are anyway happening, from COVID to the Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel war, and now the Red Sea crisis that's happening. So do you see any concerns for exports going forward? And like, what was the major reason for decline for the last quarter?
The major reasons of decline are very clearly the foreign exchange situation of some of the countries, and also the geopolitical factors. Uh, but we are very optimistic that in the coming period, it should become better only, because the situation has to improve eventually. It can't continue like that.
Yeah. But do you also see concerns in the supply chain situation due to this?
I don't think any
Okay.
supply chain concerns are now there.
Okay, so that is mostly sorted. Right. So just one last thing, like in less than a month, we have the union budget coming up. So any like expectations from the budget that you have on behalf of the auto industry here?
We are expecting that the everything should continue. There won't be any major policy announcements, because it's a vote on account, and main budget will come in after the new government is formed. So therefore, this budget should be a continuation of the current policies.
Okay, so no specific
We are not
expectations
having
for the
any
auto industry.
expectations.
All right. Thank you so much for taking
Thank
out
you.
your time and talking to ET Auto, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.